Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Runescape skill tier list. We're going to go through all of the skills in RS3 and put them in this ranking system of S at the top to F at the bottom. Now, there will hopefully be some in all tiers, but it's going to be quite hard to differentiate between a few of them. And, well, we'll just see how we get on. Now, we are starting, surprise, surprise, with agility. And I feel like agility can only really go in one tier, right? There's no huge benefits to it. Its in-game use is a few shortcuts here and there. And you know, some of those shortcuts, yeah, they're quite useful. I don't mind that, but there's just so much more, right? Like some of the other skills give you so much more. Run energy, yeah, sure, great. Doesn't matter. You've got infinite run pools. You've got all that sort of stuff when it comes to PVM. So actually, this doesn't do anything, and no one likes training it. You're just going around in circles, clicking on a few obstacles, and it's an F. It's an F straight away. Then we move to Archaeology, the most recent skill, and it's one of these two for me. The amount of depth in the skill, in fact, it's going in the top. So the amount of depth in the skill, when they brought this out, there's so much content already in the game that it had to interact and fit with, right? You couldn't just bring out a new skill that's basically its own thing, because that's what they did with Dungeoneering, and that's a very, very mixed opinion skill. Even, what, nearly 10 years on. So Archaeology, the way that they've got the relics that interact with all your other skills, you've got some skilling nodes in certain locations, you've got quite a lot of lore implications in there. Now, whether it should have dropped the weapons that it does is something I still don't really feel like it should. It's a bit of a weird place to get high tier weaponry, and yeah, the Inquisitor staff, obviously, for any Iron Man that's going for it, good luck, you'll be there a while. Possibly 200 mil plus, you never know. But outside of those weapon bits, they're the only thing that I'm just... And obviously, I know some people have complaints about the amount of like relic energy and stuff like that you get. I get why it's a choice, right? You can't just have infinite energy and unlock all of them. It just feels a bit like then your player character power is going out the top of the stratosphere. So I can see why it's like reined back. Now, whether some of those should just be like other passive unlocks, some of the relics, that is something to consider. But in general, Archaeology, top tier. Top tier. Oh, okay, right. See, these are the ones that I don't really know where to rate, right? Combat ones are tricky. Are very tricky. Now, Constitution is an F. You literally can't train it other than training combat, pretty much. Like, it gives you HP. It unlocks a few more abilities. It's not actually training the skill. Nah. Now, attack and strength. Again, these give you quite a lot of abilities as you go through, but they're not really in depth, are they? They are just kill things, gain XP for them, and that's it. Like, I don't know. I think they're mid-tier just because you've got a lot of abilities you unlock. Then they're what people generally go towards first because they literally don't need any money to make this like gear that's tier 90, but obviously not really tier 90. So I'm going to put them in C, and it'll probably be the same. We'll just get it out of the way now for ranged, because again, there's not that many other unlocks. It's all just your weaponry, your stuff like that. Your ways to train these combat skills are killing stuff, right? Now, in terms of how their power actually is in the combat triangle or whatever, that's a constantly changing thing. So when you watch this video, it might be that ranged is the best, or even melee, you never know. Might happen. But as it is mage at the top. And I actually think mage, or magic, belongs in B tier. Now, this is, in fact, maybe even A tier. And my reasoning for this, you unlock a lot of skilling spells and stuff like that. Alongside the ability to kill the stuff with the combat skills, you've got the skilling spells. You have like astral spells, you have ancients, like you have so much of a range of other stuff that comes with the skill that's not just better weaponry, hit harder, boom, like better abilities. It's other parts of the game it affects, right? And for me, that's a lot of what makes the skills good, is how they're interweaved and how they work with everything else, right? And that's why Magic is a tier above the other combat styles, because it's got those skilling implications in it, and it's got teleports. Like Clue people, they love teleports, so Magic, B tier. Oh dear. Now we're in construction, and does it go down here or does it go in E? I think I'm gonna go E tier rather than bottom. Now, I know it's obviously nowhere near as useful in RS3 as it is in old school, where you've got all of your house teleports with your necklaces and jewelry and stuff like that. It's all obviously portable and in your invent stuff in RS3. However, it's kind of cool, like, especially when the skill came out, the concept of being able to make your own house, customize it, have all your weapon racks and your stuff like that. I mean, your weapon rack, I use that. That immediately puts it above agility for me, because you just, like, sure, there's some agility shortcuts around the world, but you teleport everywhere. You don't need the shortcuts. And yeah, that's why I'm putting construction at E. I haven't really done much construction contracts. I've heard they're not too bad. A bit better than just your standard plank making and, well, flat pack making. So, E tier for construction. Oh, cooking. Oh, where's cooking going? Again, there's not much to this skill. You literally, I mean, there is, but not a lot of it's used, right? It's got to be D or E. I think D, just because of the importance of being good at cooking, means that you can make your own high tier food that then helps you out when it comes to combat. So it's quite a useful skill to train, even if you need like fishing and other stuff with it. Now, I do wish it wasn't just fish we ate. I don't mind a pescatarian diet, I quite like fish myself. But I do wish that cooking maybe, I don't know if they could do like 120 cooking where you have all sorts of other types of food, right? Because you've got stews and pizzas and jacket potatoes, but no one makes them, right? No one's going to go through all those steps, and they're not as good. So yeah, cooking D tier, it's useful to PVM, but outside of that it doesn't have much really. Crafting. Now crafting, I think I'm going to put C. Now the reason I'm putting it C is, okay, another reason for magic being B is the enchant spells are so good. And that's why crafting I'm putting up in C, because it allows you to make all this cool jewelry, right? You need crafting levels to make cool jewelry. You need crafting levels to make noxious weapons, right? Yeah, I think you still need that anyway. I don't think they've removed it. So it's a requirement to get some high tier weapons at some point. You can get the urns. You can make the urns through crafting, and then you need to obviously like infuse them with a rune, which is, you know, coming at some point. But that helps you then gain more XP in every other skill faster. So I think crafting above cooking, probably below magic for me. But again, it interweaves with the skills. That's the important part. And one that sort of does, but I mean, if we were talking about how this has affected PVM, defense goes like right at the top, because the defensive abilities, your barricade, your immortality, your resonance, your devotion, they're all really good. And while training it is boring because it's literally just combat stuff, I mean, it can be boring, or you can do it while training bosses, but generally by the time you got to bosses you've got a higher defense level, so it doesn't really matter. Blah, 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 blah. But the abilities you unlock through defense make such a difference to the game. That's why it's going in B tier. And I feel fairly confident that most people would agree that defense is more important than these three. Now, maybe not at the top level, maybe not when you're just going like rocking out 10Ks every single second. Maybe then you don't necessarily need it because you're healing up with Soul Split. But for anyone that's a bit lower level, it lets you train Slayer a lot nicer with Devotion, stop stuff attacking you, lets you get your reses off against Hellweir, all of that kind of jazz is there. And yeah, defense is a B. Defense is a B. Right, on to the next one. Divination. A weird one. One that I've never really trained very much, if I'm honest. Obviously, it's quite useful in like linking it up with Invention. However, outside of that, I guess you can transmute stuff now, right? You can transmute ores to higher tiers and stuff like that. So it just adds another use for the skill, but no one likes training this skill. It has been improved slightly with that update they did, about a year ago? Where the nodes last for a lot longer. You can extend them if you have like the skill cape, all that jazz. And it is, again, when it comes to Invention, it's useful. When it comes to Signs of the Porter, actually, for Signs of the Porter, it's going to go up to a C. Because it's such a useful thing to have with you when you're training Archaeology, when you're training some of your other gathering skills, possibly fishing, that sort of thing. So yeah, Divination, going in C. No one really likes training it, but it links well with a lot of skills, which, like I said, that's what I think is important, right, in the game. Now, a skill that doesn't really, and again, one I've never really... my 99 Dungeoneering did not involve very much Dungeoneering at all. It involved quite a bit of, well, Quest XP. I actually used the 1.2 mil or whatever it is from Sliske's Endgame in Dungeoneering to finish off my max. But I can see why it is kind of fun. And now that they've announced and released the group, like you can group as Iron Men and do it, maybe it'll see a bit of a resurgence. And it's, you get all these unique lore bits and bobs to do with Demonheim going on there. So it's quite cool in that regard, but for myself, it's not a skill I've ever used. It's one that I wish, if Elite Dungeons were locked behind level 85 Dungeoneering, level 80 Dungeoneering, something like that, probably 80, because that makes most sense, then, I'd be tempted to push it a little bit higher because it unlocks more content. But because you gain Dungeoneering XP just from killing stuff, but you don't have any entry requirements, it feels a bit, anyone could just rock up. I will put it in D though. I know lots of people really love the skill, and I wasn't playing the game when it came out, and when you had huge groups of people doing it and rushing through and clearing floors as fast as you can, and I can see how that'd be quite fun. That could definitely be quite a lot of fun. I just didn't get to experience it, hence why it's on the lower end for me. I may move it back down to E. We'll see how we go. Farming. Oof, okay. Now farming, I'm putting in B. The reason it's going in B is the Ranch Out of Time and Player-owned farms are actually really cool. You get perks that help you with various other parts of the game, be it extra spider damage, extra barricade timers, all of that kind of jazz is there, linked to training farming. Farming gets you herbs, which helps you train herb lore, and it gets it gets you lots of other items, and yeah, you've got that, what's it called, the market where you trade stuff in and you get other items, and I can't remember the name of it. My mind's gone blank. The one in Manor Farm. You know what I mean. I'm sure you know what I mean. It's going in B. I never really did old school farming, where you plant a load of stuff in a patch, come back 40 minutes later, oh, it's grown. That doesn't really appeal to me. But the fact that Player and Farms, Ranch Out of Time are there, double thumbs up. Going in B. Fire making, E. Not as bad as agility for me, but incense sticks? a little bit of an HP boost. It's very minor stuff that you unlock with fire making. It's not a fun skill to train. You literally just sit there throwing logs on a fire. I mean, it's just not... It's not interactive, right? There's nothing in it that makes it a fun skill to train. There's no real benefits from it. Yeah, it's going in E. It's going in E. Fishing... probably D on par with cooking, because its only real use is with cooking. Fishing you don't use for anything else. You use it to get food, which then needs to be cooked. It's a very long skill to train at first. Once you get to like swarm fishing and stuff like that, that can be really good because you get a wide range of fish and healing levels and stuff like that. And there's obviously perks and other unlocks that really help with fishing. Stuff like the prawn ornaments and that sort of jazz, which is getting through construction. So it's again a way construction does link to some other parts of the game. But yeah, it's going in D. Level with cooking for me. It's not... It's just a slight bit better because it helps you out when it comes to PVM. Having a high fishing level means you can get your blubbers, you can get your sailfish and all that jazz. So yeah, going in D. Ooh, Fletching, man. Where's Fletching going? Again, Fletching is not a fun skill to train. I don't think many people enjoy Fletching. And it is one of those where you're just stood there making thousands of bows, thousands of arrow shafts. Like, come on, give me something more, give me some more interaction. So there's nothing like that. Obviously, some of the things you unlock with it, really good, right? Think about it. You get back bolts. You got the new Dine Arrows. It's not what they're called, but you know what I mean. Like, you can get some really good stuff to go with PVM. But it's a really, really dull skill to train. And for me, that's why it's on a level with fishing and cooking. I may be wrong, I may be missing something completely there, but it doesn't, for me, it doesn't go anywhere near the upper echelons. Echelons. What a word that is. Herblore going in B, level with farming. You get all sorts of potions that help you with various types of training, like... Energy potions help you with running, so you don't even need to train agility. Cooking potions boosting your level. Invention potions helping out with perks. Like, there's so much, right? Overloads. OP for PVM. Aggro overloads. Aggro pots. There's so much. Sarah Brews. Like, I may even do that, but I don't feel like it's quite A tier. It's very good. It's very expensive to train. There's a lot of depth and a lot of different potions you have to learn and all the herbs that go with it and that sort of stuff is quite cool. Maybe it is an A. Yeah, I'll bump Herblore to an A. Probably like nearly a B, but definitely A. Hunter. Now, a Hunter doesn't really link a huge amount with the rest of the game. It kind of sits on its own. There's not much that it does. Now, obviously, Big Game Hunter has changed that slightly. You get Dragon Mattocks. You get Dinosaur Eggs. You get Pterosaur Maw pieces. You get the, like, totem pieces. So, if Big Game Hunter didn't exist, I would be tempted to put Hunter down an E, because it doesn't link with anything else in the game. Right? It's just its own entity that sits and chills. But because of Big Game Hunter, I might actually put it all the way up to B. Big Game Hunter's a great update. It's like, it makes Hunter bearable. Now obviously you still need some Hunter levels before that, but you can do Big Chin Chomper and all that jazz, and it doesn't take you that long really to get to that point. But once you get there, Big Game Hunter's great fun. You get all sorts of loot. So yeah, going in B. Invention, another S tier. I wasn't playing when Invention came out, but it sounds like it completely, and I mean you can tell that it's completely ripped up the rulebook on how the skills and stuff were meant to be. It completely changed the economy. Clues suddenly became useful. You were getting fortunate components. It made a lot of items that had lost their use and had just become outdated over time useful again. It's a really, really overpowered skill. Perks are so good, and Ancient Invention that came with Archaeology are yet another thing that puts it right at that top tier for me. Just crazy. You get crazy, like, there's no quest at the moment though that has an invention requirement from what I remember, which is a little strange. I don't know why. I know it's an elite skill and it requires some other skills to get and to unlock it, and actually training it can be quite confusing. There is again a lot of depth to it, and that's what I'm finding. The skills for more depth I'm generally putting towards the top, but it links to the rest of the game. Pretty much every other skill can be affected by this. Not every single one, but a lot of them, right? Honed perks, furnace perks, imp sword, all that sort of jazz can come in useful with your gathering skills. And yeah, the PVM benefits is just crazy. So yeah, Invention, S tier, no real doubt for me. I'm gonna do mining and smithing together probably. Actually no, mining is another one of those gathering skills and there's not much to it, right? You whack away at some rocks, get the ore out. Now, obviously, the ore box and stuff with the mining and smithing update is really nice. Like, it lets you stay at one spot for a lot longer than you used to be able to. So that's why I'm half tempted to move it to C, but I think it stays at D because it is a very just click and wait. And obviously, you can click a lot faster and you'll get the ore faster, but not fast enough for me to put it any higher than D. Smithing goes in C. You can unlock a lot of really cool armor and weaponry, especially at early levels with a high smithing level. You can get the masterwork set through having your smithing. Doing the burial smithing, not too bad. You steal a lot of XP. Obviously it uses the materials up, but it's really good for that. The process of making masterwork as well, where you're constantly folding the metal and sort of infusing it and that sort of stuff, is really cool. So it's probably at the bottom of C, kind of probably where I put it here, but it's definitely a step above mining for me. Mining probably comes up here. They're close, but smithing's just slightly better. Prayer, probably A. Again, it doesn't interact with a huge amount of the game, is the only reason why I'm not sure about A. It might go B, but it's OP for PVM. Not even talking about soul split, like the deflect and reflect. No, deflect and what's the other one? Defend from. Those prayers are so good. They're so good early on. They save you so much HP. Like, soul split though, it breaks the game, right? Once you unlock soul split, you can AFK in so many different places, so many different slayer locations and stuff. It's insanely good. You've also got stuff like the serum prayers. You got like that have their own benefits as well. I've never really done a huge amount with them. I know I should, for like, you know, if you want your optimal ways of doing stuff, then you want to use them, but for me it's more the combat benefits of prayer, similar to Herblore really, how they're linked. But again, it has got skilling implications as well, so that's why it's one of the higher tier ones. Maybe I'm being a bit generous with A tier, maybe it is B. Top of B. We'll go top of B tier for prayer. Not quite on the level of Herblore. Runecrafting now. Not a fun skill to train. Can make you a lot of money. However, how does it link with the rest of the game? Yes. Similar to crafting, you need it for your urns. You need it for magic, to make your runes. If you're an Iron Man, obviously. If you're a main, then you don't really care about that. But it's not very fun to train. It's very repetitive RSIE. There's no variance between bits, and that's why Hunter's gone a bit higher, because Big Game Hunter, you've got variance between the different encounters, the chance of doubles and triples and stuff like that. Again, is further enhancing why I think Hunter deserves to be in a B. But Runecrafting, it just go to an altar, come out with some runes, or do the rune spam, which is a nice AFK easy method. That's what I did for a lot of time on double XPs. I'd be working away here at home, and it would just be off on the side, just rune spamming. Maybe C is too nice to it, because it doesn't really do very much. I think it's got to go down to D. It's just not a fun skill to train still, even with Runespan. Right, Slayer. Lots of people's favourite skill cake this, and it's a pretty good skill. You go around, you train at loads of different locations, you unlock lots of locations through Slayer, you kill lots of different monsters. Some of the high tier ones have different mechanics and stuff like that, which is good. You get Slayer XP from Reapers, which, you know, not the primary way of getting it a lot of the time, but still pretty good, right? So Slayer is better than Prayer? For me it is. It's more enjoyable. Right, going through, working your way up to the next Slayer Master, gives you a nice milestone. It's like, oh, right, hold on, this person, what do I need to get to them? Oh, I need to do Plague's End to unlock Warband, like, I need to go to Anachronia to talk to Laniakea, all that sort of stuff. It's like, you know, you're going around the map, you're exploring and adventuring, right? That's what the game should be about. Now, it doesn't necessarily link too much with other skills, that I will admit. There's a lot of cool Slayer unlocks, but they're again mostly focused within Slayer. So on that aspect of it, it kind of falls down. Yeah, no, it's going below Prayer. I'm going to put Prayer up to A. We're doing that. But it's fun. It's a fun skill. It's probably one of the most fun skills to train, because you're going around and fighting all these different monsters and doing all the different tasks. Summoning. Summoning is probably for me one of the lower tier skills. No, it's gonna be C tier. Probably middle of C tier, something like that. And that's because it's helpful with combat, but it's not fun to train. It's quite fast to train, in that you're literally just going back to the obelisks and stuff. But yeah, it's not got much variance again in the actual skilling part of the game. It's just find an obelisk, take the ingredients there, and that's quite cool. You need to get all these different ingredients from killing different monsters and stuff like that, and take them to go and train. You need to get the charms, you need to get the spirit shards you need to buy, all that sort of stuff. So it's pretty fun in that regard. It links to a lot of different parts as well, like, you know, pack yaks. They can be used to help you pick up loot while you're wandering around. They can be used for gathering skills if you want to carry more with you. So yeah, summoning goes there. There's obviously summoning's PVM benefits put it right at the top of C tier. In fact, they go in B tier, because think about it, like Ripper Demons broke the game. They broke the game. When Ripper Demons were introduced, I remember RS Guy and a group went to raids, and they had bronze weaponry, and they let their Ripper Demons kill Beastmaster. It was insane. Obviously you can't do that now, they did nerf them, but they're still crazy good. Calgarian Demons also mental. So yeah, bottom of B for summoning. And we're left with two more, thieving and woodcutting. Now, thieving, again, quite cool. Going to the different locations, you get a lot of interesting loot, especially when you unlock Prif, and you're getting all the stuff from there. But early game, early thieving, bakery stores and seeds is a bit boring. But it does link quite well to other parts, and I think it's going to go, even if just for the fact safe cracking's in the game, which is an incredibly fast way of training to get up to those Prifness levels, it's got to go B. Going B tier for me. I always enjoyed when it was like, alright, I should probably train some thieving. You come out, you've got a load of loot that you've nicked off of someone, or you're getting insane XP from safe cracking, like, yeah, B tier. Oh, wood cutting, why do we have to end on you? You live down there with fire making, I'm sorry, but it's just dull, right? You're just standing there whacking at a tree. And then, oh no, I've knocked it over. Go click on another one. And I wonder if part of it is the, you know, where you have to go to train him. Like, acacia trees, you'll cut down thousands upon thousands of acacia trees before you're maxed. Obviously, stuff like, you know, now with PVM Hub, you have to donate 1,000 of each type of log to the bonfire to then unlock a higher tier of bonfire. Is pretty good. But it's just boring, right? It's really not very fun. So yeah, that's wood cutting for me. It's going in E, and that is my full tier list. I notice it's slightly bottom heavy, but I feel like that's, you know, that's just the way. Everyone has a few skills that they really enjoy training, and I hope your ideas kind of match up with what I've said. If not, obviously let me know, and if there's anything you think I've got horribly wrong here, please, yeah, just, you know, tell me. It's funny how the most recent skills are the two that I've put in S tier, and it's because they're the most influential. Whatever skill they bring out next has to do something on this level of archaeology, or people just aren't going to really care, right? And that's why archaeology was so good, because they managed to have a skill that affected so much of the game. And obviously the extra dig sites that have come out since, really cool, Centistin, Orphan, and just the lore implications and stuff. So yeah, very happy to put archaeology at the top, followed by invention. And that's my my RuneScape tier list. Yeah, and like I said, let me know in the comments if you got any opinions on what I've put. If you want to do your own, I've linked this tier list maker thing in the description. And yeah, until next time, stay safe, have a good one.